Hello, shalom. Oh my God, my voice is so loud. How's it going, everybody? Give it up. That's right. My name is Etai Benson. I'm a comedian and journalist from New York. I'm beyond excited to be here talking with Hen. Hen, the host of And They're Jewish. Second season released today.
Yes.
There was your interview with Amanda Hirsch, who not skinny but not fat, happened today. Before we get into that, though, I got one question for you. So, what I love about you, because I've been following you for a little bit, is that you are like a very aggressively down the middle, like liberal Zionist Jew, which is interesting because you offend the extreme right wing, very, very pro-war side, and then you also offend the pro-Palestinian all the way aggressively left side that has occasionally, become anti-Semitic. So my question for you is, what is it like being a genocidal Zionist and a member of Hamas?
Well, first of all, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. We're competing tonight against Hillary Clinton in another place, speaking with Yonit Levy, and there's another event. So just to have you all here means a lot, and I want to say thank you. And then, the question, it sounds funny, but those are the sort of comments that I'm getting. There was, you're paid by the Israeli government, you're paid by Qatar, I'm paid by Hamas as well.
Yeah.
It's just...
By the way, this night has been sponsored by the Adelson family.
Well, everyone is funding me. I wish I would be on private jets all the time, but not there yet. I think that's the price you pay when you refuse to give up on your morals and on who you are and what you stand for. And I think it's really hard to do it, right? It's hard for me to keep resisting hate and resisting falling into one extreme or another. But from what I'm getting from people coming up to me in the street, from people coming here tonight, I'm sure a lot of you feel that, is that what I say resonates with them. I think most people are good, decent human beings, and they have good moral values and moral compass, and they haven't lost it, and they're not going to turn one way or another. So I just, I think my grandma told me once that I can't be everything for everyone and still be true to who I am. So I try to be who I am, and I won't have 5 million followers, but I'll have 400,000 or a few 100,000 that are really committed, and that we create a community and we see one another, and I hear you and I see you. That's who I am, and that's not the cross, the Magen David I have to carry.
Yeah. Shout out to the rabbi.
For sure.
You're authentically Jewish, your accent, the Israeli accent and everything. You are, I don't know if you know this, Hen is a Jewish person. Get him! No. It's because you're so authentic that whenever I see you on, doing a talking head thing on the news, it just comes across as incredibly authentic. And when we've talked, something that, comes up a lot is the concept of authentic Judaism. Of how over the past couple of years, so much of the space when it comes to talking about Judaism has been taken up by the war, which is important. It's not to take away from the importance and the disaster and the hostages and what happened in Gaza and all that stuff, but it has also taken up the entire space of Judaism, which is where And They're Jewish kind of comes in. So talk to me a little bit about just the creation of And They're Jewish. Why did you think it was important to do this? And did you think that it was going to be a problem to do something so aggressively Jewish that doesn't, bask in the sadness of the past couple of years?
Yeah. And And They're Jewish started because after October 7th, it was, I think, a year into the war that I just felt like I keep speaking into a void. I know I'm not, and I know it was important and I had to say what was needed to be said, but also it was constantly tragedy and trauma, and I think many Jewish people online, the ones that I was looking at, almost forgot the joy and forgot what our Jewish identity is. And focusing so much on the tragedy is really harmful if you forget what we are. So And They're Jewish was a response to that. It was to say to the world, yes, we are experiencing tragedy, pain, trauma, but we wake up the next morning and we're creating art, and we're celebrating who we are. And in the darkest of times, that's what Jews have done, right, in our history. So it was a decision to say, we're fighting anti-Semitism for 3,000 years. We should try joy for once, and that's what Ender Jewish is.
And they're Jewish, even like the name of it, there's like this surprise element to it, like, would you believe she's Jewish? There's like that vibe with it. Talk to me a little bit about like the concept of like a surprise Jew, someone who you're a little bit shocked. Like, is there a common through line of what makes someone like a shockingly surprising Jew?
Is there?
We're famously quiet.
Yeah, I mean, you can, that's how, actually, okay, the backstory, the origin story of the name was I was sitting with a friend, and I said, I'm creating this show, it's gonna be online, the goal is to remind Jews who we are and remind the world who we are through that, and to share some beautiful stories of Jews that, it's not just their Jewish identity, they're also Jewish, but they're doing so much more, and we all love them because of everything that they are. And my friend said, oh, so give me an example. And I threw a few of the names that I was going to interview, and he said, oh, well, it's like when you have a Shabbat dinner and someone mentioned a famous person, and then your aunt or your grandma would say, oh, did you know that they were Jewish? As if and they're Jewish, right? And it's like,
even the ones that aren't Jewish.
Right, exactly, we claim them too.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, he's Jewish.
Yeah, and that was part of the concept. It's like, we're doing so much, we're creating, we're comedians, artists, people from all walks of life, and we're also Jewish, and it's not the only thing that we are. And I think it's something to be celebrated, and it's something that we are very proud of. We feel like, it's one of us. We've made it. We did something. We contributed to the world, which we have in so many ways. And yeah, people that surprised me. I mean, I knew Pink, the artist, was Jewish, but she spoke up a few times. She shared a few of my posts, and we've been in DMs, and I was really impressed. I was like, oh wow, you're a Jew.
Is that like an interesting thing to like, in the middle of the war, to be going through like sadness. Oh my God, Pink shared what I did. Sadness. Like, have there been any moments of genuine levity like that? I personally, in the beginning of it, my sisters live in Israel, and I remember like within 3 days after October 7th, like obviously you're seeing the worst video after worst video, and then Jessica Chastain shared something I'd said, and I was like, hey, Tamar, my sister in Israel, I'm like, I know you're in a bomb shelter right now, but check this out.
And I'm sure it helped Tamar get through it, right?
Because yeah. She was like, finally.
Finally, did something right. Yeah, there were a lot of incidents like this. I mean, the top was when Gal Gadot gave me a call, right? That's and I was like, I can retire now. But yeah, it's really nice feeling. I don't get drunk on this. It's important to, for me, it's important to work with those people that have big platforms because they can share the message wide and get to people that probably won't follow me, but they follow them because of what they're doing. It's a nice pat on the back, I guess, to say, okay, I'm doing a good job, but it's not why I do it. It's a vehicle to continue doing what I'm doing. And my work, I mean, my objective at the end is really to help Jews, and that's why the show is so positive. It's so uplifting. It's a conversation with the Jewish world. It's a love letter to our people, from me to say, I love each and every part of us, and there's so many parts and so many elements of what being Jewish is, and we're just celebrating it. And for 2 years, I feel like a lot of us have walked on eggshells with our identity, not sure if we can put our Star of David out, if we can speak about our family in Israel. And that's a time to stop it. That's a time to be proud, to open our chest, to say this is who we are, and if you don't like it, well, too bad. You're gonna miss out on a lot of goodness in this world.
Yeah. When I was watching, yes, obviously. You said so. I watched the last season. I've seen a couple of episodes of this season thus far, and the word that I wrote down when I was taking notes was Jew dump, where it just felt like when they got into the room with you, they were just so excited to like, oh, thank God someone's asking me about latkes. Like, thank God I don't have to talk about the hostages right now. There was that, it felt like they were excited to kind of throw it out there. Season 2, was there any difference in the casting that went into season 2 versus season 1?
Yeah, I think that we were in a different place than we were in season 1. I mean, we did speak about the war. We spoke about the hostages. It was the heights of it. But I think now there are still hostages in Gaza. Even, it doesn't matter if they're alive or not. We need to bring them home, and that's really important that we don't let go of this. And I just feel like it was absolutely. And I feel like we're in just a different place in the conversation that because there's a ceasefire, it's not about the hostages. That's still in the top of our mind. But I think the fact that there's a ceasefire was more liberating for a lot of the people that I was speaking with, that they were able to speak about their identity and about being Jewish and what that means for them. Yeah, I'm thinking about Lisa Edelstein, that we had this fantastic conversation. I knew Lisa and I've been following her and her work, but it wasn't as deep as we had the conversation in her episode, which is coming out in 3 weeks, I think. And it was just very, I don't know, just seeing these people in a different light, seeing them opening up, and I do see a real stark difference between season 1 and season 2. I love season 2 even more than I loved season 1.
Amanda Hirsch, Not Skinny But Not Fat. That is the first episode that came out today. If you're unfamiliar, she's an Instagram, TikTok, just a hilarious, absolutely hilarious internet personality. Her being online, I actually didn't even think that she was Jewish. Like, it didn't really come up. Is there, in your episode, you talked a lot about Israel. Like, she's from Israel. Talk to me about the hesitancy that it comes from someone like that to talk about Israel, knowing that it could affect her account.
Yeah, it could affect her career. It could get her canceled. It could get her, get gigs taken away from her. And we actually discussed it in the episode as well. And she said it's something that I'm thinking about. Of course, she's mindful that if she would say this, some people would not want to work with her. But she said she's not going to hide it. I thought it was such a beautiful statement from her. Someone that, just yesterday she was interviewing Kris Jenner, and then she says on her platform, I'm Israeli, I'm not hiding from it. She's posting our episode without shame. And I think it's so beautiful. I think it's a bit counterintuitive for a lot of us that we think if we hide ourselves, if we hide who we are, maybe would be accepted, maybe they won't hate us as much. If we say something bad about Bibi, maybe it would be let us. You can say whatever you want about Bibi.
No, this is actually, once again, this is sponsored by Bibi. This is
yeah.
Bibi. What's in your wallet?
Benjamin.
Your conversation with Amanda, a little bit of topical stuff you talked about. You talked about the Hollywood boycott and the list of celebrities that said that they were not going to get involved with Israeli film industry. Right. I think Amanda had one of the funniest lines in the episode when they announced that they were boycotting the Haifa Film Festival. And she's like, "I'm from Haifa, fine." What is your opinion on the Hollywood boycott? Do you think that that's an effective way to attack Israel? Was it ineffective? Did people take it seriously?
I mean, it didn't do anything. All of this boycott does is just harms Jews. It doesn't. I read that that some of the artists, like Lorde, boycotted. Well, removed her music from Apple Music. I mean, who is it going to harm? I get it. You're trying to affect Netanyahu and Ben Gvir. They're not listening to Lorde.
Okay, let me just say, Ben Gvir, I met at a rave. Okay, that guy parties. That is funny, the idea that Bibi Netanyahu is just like, oh no, I can't listen to Macklemore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not affecting them, and it's the same thing with the filmmakers in Israel. Those are the people that are most outspoken about the tragedies and the conflict, and even criticizing Israel. Probably the most critical voices of the Israeli society. So to harm them would do what? If anything, it just reminded them that there is anti-Semitism and it's not really about Israel. And I think it's really a shame because economically, it doesn't do much. Israel has a strong economy; it's not going to change. Culturally, no, it's not going to do anything. And then you have, Warner Brothers and Paramount coming out, and saying that they're not going to take part of it. And I heard that some of those artists that signed the petition were really worried because Warner Brothers and Paramount are now saying, we're not going to work with you. So a lot of them had to pedal back. So I think it's ridiculous. I think it's actually disgusting to sign on to something like this without reading the fine line. And we spoke about it. I spoke about it with Amanda, and she said if I had to boycott anyone that signed this, it would be very hard. So she's trying to change her mind. But if you sign something like this, you have to read the fine lines. You have to understand exactly what you sign on to. I mean, this filmmaker thing was, the filmmaker petition was saying, we're not going to work with any filmmakers that profit from the genocide or the war. And it's like, so how are you going to pick who you're going to work with and who you can't? And it's just hypocritical, and it's a shame. But we're into a few weeks into the ceasefire that is in and out, but still ceasefire, and we're seeing that things are changing and the trend is going to pass, and these people are going to stay with this badge of shame of what they've done. So I'm not going to forget it. We're not going to forget it, and we'll remember who stood with us.
On another episode, you had Jonah Feingold, who is a director. He did a Jewish rom-com, like a Christmas Jewish rom-com. Hen, pitch a Jewish rom-com.
So it's a Persian girl from New York,
Nice.
And she falls in love with an Ashkenazi guy.
Would never happen. Let me tell you, my gut can't handle it.
And, they're just trying to get their families to understand each other. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. It's just called yelling.
On both sides.
Paramount. We got executives in here? I got last question just on and they're Jewish. Dream guests for season 3.
Wow, dream guest. I mean, of course, Barbara Streisand, right? Would love to see that. Yeah. I really want to get Gal Gadot at some point. She's really busy, but she's great as well. Who else should we get on? Who should I get on the show, you think?
Who should you get on the show? You know what the thing is? If not to pitch anything, but
Please take a look at
all 3 Chaim. Chaim?
Oh, yeah.
Is that? I can't be the only one that pronounces it Chaim.
Yeah.
I say ham. Or, I'm going to say this out there. We're obviously in a place, and our next question is going to be kind of about the mayoral stuff, but Jews...
Can we skip that?
Yes. I'm talking about the mayoral election in Indianapolis.
Okay, great. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Let's talk about it. I don't know if you guys know.
No? What's...
I got bad news. Curtis Sliwa. No. Mayoral election is happening.
Right.
Whether you like it or not. It's happening next week right now. Early voting is happening. I think interesting thing today was that the Satmar Hasidim announced that they are not endorsing a candidate, which is huge because they did endorse Cuomo in the primaries. So it does feel like there are lines being drawn and like there is a falling, like everything's kind of falling into place about what's going to be happening after. I'm just curious, what is not working in the branding against Mamdani? Because clearly it didn't work. Obviously, anytime he does anything and we react to it, he just gets stronger and stronger. And I'm not saying pro or anti him. I'm just saying, what's happening out there. What is not working about what we're doing? Not there.
I mean, I think just looking at the candidates, there weren't really strong candidates that I would wholeheartedly say I'm standing behind them. And I think, of course, I'm critical of Mamdani's statements and the fact that it was very hard for him to walk or to condemn or to say this is, I disagree with some sort of rhetoric that is harmful to a large group of people in my city. That is, I think it's something that everyone should be worried about. What doesn't work? I mean, you've seen the campaign. What do you think?
I think calling him a jihadist is working. My issue with the work that's been done against him, I think, is that, after October 7th, there was a group of people that were given money to try to handle how the post-October 7th messaging and branding was going to go. That obviously did not work. And the unfortunate reality is that those same people ended up becoming in charge of the anti-Mamdani campaigns. And I think that at some point, the Jewish community does need to look inside of ourselves and say, what are we doing that is not hitting? Are we just making wall after wall? Are we not trying to build a bridge? Is it time to build a bridge? Is it time to reevaluate who we think is someone that we can't negotiate with? And I think that it just feels like we have not gotten to that point yet, and I don't know what else needs to happen in order for us to look inside and say, it ain't working at all.
It's hard because we're talking about something so emotional and it hits people home and they feel very concerned. I mean, from Jews in New York that I spoke with, it sounds like for them it's really dangerous. They feel like they won't be safe in their own city. And there's other Jews that support him, which was also interesting for me to hear, that are willing to overlook some of those statements and they feel like it's not connected to them. I'm a big proponent of building bridges, and I would often be the one saying, let's work with people that most of our community would be rejecting. Sometimes I feel like it's past that point. Sometimes it seems like people have such strong anti-Israel or an agenda that we can't reconcile. If he's going to be mayor, I hope that we would work with them and try and change. That our community would try and change some of the rhetoric and explain to him and educate him on why it's so harmful to us. But yeah, I think by and large we've failed with PR as a community, and it's because, again, it's really emotional for us and it's really triggering. And every time we're being accused in the most horrible, think about it. Israel has been, and the Jewish people have been accused on everything, every tragedy, the worst catastrophes, every definition of something terrible was used against us. So I get it. I get why Jews are so upset. But I'm trying to lead with kindness and try to never turn into the people that we fight against, because then we lose ourselves. And if you speak about October 7th, I think what Hamas was doing was the fact that they inflicted such horrible atrocities on us. It wasn't just because they wanted to destroy Israel. Of course, they wanted to destroy Israel in their mind, but they knew they couldn't do it. They just wanted to hurt us so much to the point that we would lose ourselves, that we would see red and go there and do horrible things that they were hoping that we would turn into them. And I think the fact that we have our morals and the fact that our community is able to be critical when we need to be critical and also be strong in our stance and in what we believe in is the victory. The Hamas didn't manage to turn us into them, which was their goal. And I'm really proud of us.
What are some effective ways of fighting anti-Semitism that you have seen?
Well, and they're Jewish.
Yeah, that's number one way, obviously.
Number one, of course. I find that educating people from a place that is not patronizing, that is not dismissive of them. I don't think that we should be the ones doing the hard work, and we shouldn't be the ones doing the labor of educating other people about anti-Semitism and how their words are affecting us. It shouldn't be like this. But the reality is that it is. So while it shouldn't be like this, we should be the ones educating and speaking about what anti-Semitism is, and not assuming that everyone knows everything about anti-Semitism. Some people would use anti-Semitic tropes and without realizing how harmful it is. And yes, it's not our job to educate them, but it is if we want to make the world a better place for us and to make a difference. So I would just say, don't call people anti-Semitic. Don't just dismiss them and say, you're crazy, we're not going to talk to you. Try and educate them. So there's a difference between saying, X person is an anti-Semite, to saying this person said something that is harmful to Jews because, and then explain it. I think that if each and every one of us is educating others in this way, we'll be able to make a difference and really educate people about anti-Semitism. I think that's the important part.
There's a concept or a term that I think over the past couple of months has started to trend a lot, and that's the concept of as a Jew, Jews. As a Jew, Jews. Talk to me a little bit about the concept of as a Jew, Jews. We see people like, I'm not going to name names, but obviously these are Jews who it seems like they're leveraging their Judaism to say stuff that is hurtful to the Jewish community, to downplay the October 7th attacks, to downplay anti-Semitism that's currently happening, in America and globally. It seems like those as a Jew Jews would have been excited for a ceasefire. Yet they've been quiet since then. Why do you think that is? Is it because they don't know what to say, or is it because they're genuinely bummed that the ride's over?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man, we got to go back to last year.
For a lot of people, the war in Gaza was a hashtag, a trend, an emoji that they added to their bio, and they felt really good about themselves for adding this watermelon emoji, but it didn't do much to help. And I think, specifically those that, and so many times I would be invited to a debate on TV, and they would say, okay, you're going to speak for the pro-Israel side, and then we have a Jewish person that is anti-Israel, and we want to have both. We want to have all the perspectives, which is totally unfair because I represent likely the opinion of majority of Jews. I wouldn't say 90% of Jews, but 90% of Jews are Zionists, that's we know, and are pro-Israel. So even if I represent 50% of the opinion, to have someone that represents less than 5% of our community is tokenizing us. And they would never do it to anyone else. And I refused that a few times when I was invited to debate anti-Zionist Jews because I don't think it's fair. Unless you have a wide variety of voices, of Jewish voices, to have anti-Zionist Jews platformed this way, I don't think they need to be silenced. I think, if they want to speak, they should speak. But no one would say, well, Kanye West is representing the black community and he said that slavery is a choice, so that's, of course not, right? We would reject it as we should. No one would say that Caitlyn Jenner saying that that trans women should use men toilets is, that this is representing the trans community, right? We won't. Doesn't take away the fact she's a trans woman, doesn't take away from the fact that Kanye West is a black man, but they're not representing this community. And only when it comes to Jews is it okay to take people that are advocating against the best interests of our community, against the civil rights and the national rights of the Jewish people in Israel, and say, oh, okay, let's just put them. And it's never done, whenever a politician or mayoral candidate uses one of those Jews, it's never done to heal the relationship with our community. When they go and bake challah with them on Tuesday, and take a picture, right?
We all know our challah is supposed to be 4 days old.
And take a picture of it and say, here's our challah. It's never done to say, okay, let's build a bridge. It's done to abuse us, really. So I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, but 1,000%. It's a good place to advertise that next week, Caitlyn Jenner and Kanye will be talking about Israel here at the 92nd Street Y. Oddball question, who is a celebrity that you think gets too much hate from the pro-Israel side of the world?
Wow, putting me on the spot. They deserve it, all of them. No,
yeah, obviously.
No. I'm going to say something, it's going to be bad. I'm not going to say. Well, I think Natalie Portman is often being mischaracterized. And I even wrote articles against her, against things that she said, and I disagree with. I think she's just a liberal Zionist, and she still supports Israel's right to exist. And I don't know her personally, but I'm saying it because I wrote an article about her a few years ago I think she was invited to get an award, and she said, I'm not coming to Israel because of Netanyahu, I still support Israel's right to exist. And I was upset, and I guess I'm looking back, I'm thinking, and reading some more and hearing about where she stands, she still supports Israel's right to exist. She has her criticism. I think criticism should stay in the community. I think even when I share criticism of the Israeli government, I always feel a bit uncomfortable about it. I think it's necessary sometime to say it because some of those politicians can get a free pass, but as long as it's done from patriotism. And you see it every weekend in Israel, in the Hostet Square, where people are protesting against the Israeli government with an Israeli flag in their hand. They love Israel, and it's come from patriotism. And it's something that I think we need to remind ourselves that we can do it as a community. We can have our tough conversations about Israel, about the government, but only if it's coming from love. And when people come in and try to capitalize this and say, oh, we can be part of, no, you can't be part of this conversation. It's a conversation for us, and we will have it, and we will let you know what we've decided. Please step outside. Yes, exactly.
Jonathan Greenblatt will tell you. That's interesting, the idea of balancing nuance, like knowing when to even address it versus knowing when there's a teachable moment here to throw nuance in there. When you go and you do any of your talking heads, like is there a moment when you're about to say something or when you're like prepping, how much of your mind is geared towards like, okay, what do I have to explain first, second, third before I answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that there's some stations that invite me and they won't say it explicitly, but they want me to say something critical because that would calm down some of their viewership, and I know that their viewership is probably more critical of Israel, so they want this. And I have to frame everything I say. I want to go back on those stations. I think it's really important that I'm on, MSNBC. I think it's important that the audience that is probably, again, more critical of Israel hears someone that is a Zionist, that is a liberal Zionist, that is able to say, I'm critical of Netanyahu, but Hamas is a terrorist organization. Have we lost our mind? What? I mean, how can we compare the two? So it's just...
And you say that as a member of Hamas,
Yeah, so...
Quote me, clip that, put it online.
I told you it was a bad idea to have him moderating this.
I want to play a little bit of a game with you. A couple of years ago, I created something called Jewish or Anti-Semitic, which is a game that I play on the internet, where I ask people of stuff. Thank you. If you know it, thank you. The idea is that everything is Jewish or it is anti-Semitic. There is no in between, and we all know. For instance, bagels are, croissants are. Exactly. The French know what they did. Okay, Christianity is anti-Semitic. The Pope is Jewish. He's an old guy that wears a yarmulke and doesn't pay taxes. He's a Jewish man. Actually, one we came up with a couple of weeks ago was the royal family, Jewish or anti-Semitic. What do you think?
Jewish?
Anti-Semitic. They're British. Everything British is anti-Semitic. The only thing Jewish about the royal family is they hate their daughter-in-laws. That's it. Jewish or anti-Semitic? Nobody wants this on Netflix.
Wrong answers only. It's Jewish.
It's okay. There's been controversy. I think half of the crowd their pitchforks just went up. Say that. You say Jewish.
I mean, yeah, is it perfectly Jewish? No. Is it good or perfect representation? No. But go on YouTube and watch good representation of Jews.
That's right. For every hour of Nobody Wants This, you have to watch Chaim Potok's The Chosen. Just going back and forth. Reality TV, Jewish or anti-Semitic?
What type of reality TV?
We're going to go with Real Housewives.
Real Housewives?
Yeah.
Anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic. Why anti-Semitic, you think?
First of all, why do they... Okay. It's my guilty pleasure. I love Real Housewives. Really, I do.
Anti-Semitism is your guilty pleasure. Clip that!
No, but every episode, it's the same thing. I'm like, can you not fight for once? And then someone is coming with tequila and they're saying, let's drink. And I'm like, no, stop drinking. It's not going to end up well. They keep drinking and it's just every episode ends really badly. So it's a setup. That's why it's anti-Semitic.
I hear that. The anti-Semitic. I feel like the setupness of it is Jewish. There have been times where I've walked into Shabbat dinners and there's just a woman my age who happens to be there.
Your mom invited.
Yeah, my mom's like, oh my God, Esther's here. Talk to her. She's terrible. No, for a while, my mom would just set me up with lawyers who hate me. Chat GPT. Jewish or anti-Semitic?
Jewish.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
So Jewish.
Yeah, very. It finishes your sentences for you. That's why. That's why it's Jewish. Okay, I want to play one last game with you quickly, and then we're going to bring out our special guest. And this is what I'm calling the Jewish lightning round. All right, two people out there got the reference.
Explain.
Do you know Jewish lightning?
No.
It's when you commit insurance fraud. I learned that. Okay, we're going to do 3 quick questions. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of current Jews?
Like top one?
Top ones right now. Top ones going.
I don't know. It's a very
Mount Rushmore just means like the top 4 Jews that
Yeah.
are currently going, who you would put on your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, and they have to be alive, right? Or no?
Yeah, you can put some dead ones on there. Why not?
Rachel Goldberg-Polin.
Rachel, okay.
Right?
Amazing. Yes.
We love her. I would say, Gal Gadot. Sorry,
Number 2.
I'm biased. Who else? Wow. Whom?
I'm here.
Barbara, of course. Barbara, yes. Sorry. And all of everything that they said.
Yeah.
Yes, everything.
This section is number 4 on the list. Okay, Seinfeld or Larry David, who are you putting up there?
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, okay. Next Jewish question. First president, okay, what is going to be first? The first Jewish president or the first woman president?
First Jewish woman president.
Wow. A twofer.
Yes.
And last one, who is the best Jewish TV character of all time?
Wow. Putting me on the spot here. Give me some ideas, guys. A nanny. John Rivers. New Girl. South Park.
Just the concept of South Park.
No,
It's kind of Jewish.
Lisa Edelstein, yes,
Okay, we're
very
going
Jewish.
Lisa Edelstein.
Well, I'll say Lisa because she's on the show. Yeah, Lisa is.
So Lisa Edelstein played a lawyer on West Wing, and then she played a doctor in House. Are her parents like disappointed she hasn't played a rabbi?
And then she played a Jewish mom in Long Story Short.
Long Story Short, I thought was phenomenal, and I'll quickly just get a quick answer on this. After Long Story Short came out, which is an animated show on Netflix about a Jewish family, I will say, truly one of the most accurate representations of Jewish American life. And afterwards, there was a discourse, there was a website that put up an article that was titled, Long Story Short doesn't talk about Israel, but it should. Do you think that a show like that is representative of Jewish American life, do you think it has an obligation to talk about Israel? Or does it have every ability to just be about the Jews?
I don't think it has the obligation. I just think that it's part of the Jewish story. And I get why it's easier to ignore it. I actually asked Lisa about it, and she said, the storyline starts, it's different years, and in this article, the specific one you mentioned, they said, why didn't they speak about October 7th? It's because it didn't reach 2023 anyway. It's like in the past. And I do think there is a place to speak about Israel. It's part of the Jewish experience. We shouldn't hide it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Listen, every country has issues. Every country has governments and leaders that, I can't think of any country that has an amazing president that everyone loves.
I'm personally trying to get booked on the Riyadh Comedy Festival, so I'm
right,
what you said.
Right. that country is perfect. Yes, Riyadh is Saudi Arabia.
Easy squeezy, never done anything wrong.
No, but it's like we constantly get this feeling that we have to apologize for something. We have nothing to apologize for. Nothing.
I would like to bring out our special guest for the next part of the show. From the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Jackie Goldschneider.
Hi.
Hi.
Jackie, are you in Hamas?
No.
Well, some things I can't say. But I am running for president, so.
You're running for president.
Well, I'm going to be that first woman Jewish president.
Yes.
First day in office, what are the first 3 things that you're doing as the president?
I'm rehiring myself at Bravo. No, I don't know what's going on with the show. What am I doing in office? Oh boy, that's a tough question.
This is CNN, baby.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm making some calls to get my kids into some good colleges.
Okay, good.
That's how it's
use
done.
that position.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, a couple of questions. First of all, we were talking backstage about this, and I just kind of want to talk about this like in front of everybody. What is harder to be online, a Jew or a Real Housewife cast member?
Okay, well, here's the thing. As a Jew, I get the same thing over and over. No matter what I post, it's, well, what about, right? So you get the same insult thrown at you every time that you don't care about certain things, right? As a housewife, you get every single thing that you've done wrong for like 7 years, right? So like I get a whole slew of things. So I'll like open my DMs if I do something wrong and there's like 800 different insults. So probably being a housewife. Yeah.
Who do you think has a more terrifying like DM section? You or you?
I mean, they don't know much about me. They just know my opinions, and that's all they have. So
Yeah.
I guess it's...
Well, I get told all the time that my lips move sideways, and you probably don't get that. I get like weird comments about my looks all the time, so.
Oh, I get some comments about my looks.
Do you?
Yeah.
What can they say about your looks?
Well, they said my hair texture is really no like. And then I saw it in the comments of some anti-Israel account I was posting, and people were like, "Yeah, look at his hair, it looks like a mop." I was like, yeah, it was really hurtful. I worked so hard on it. I put like the leave-on conditioner, and then I did the whole thing.
No, he's lying.
Yeah.
Does it? You're a lawyer.
Yes.
Being a lawyer, does that give you a good advantage when it comes to filming Real Housewife scenes?
Being smart, it does give you an advantage going in, and then what happens is you end up drinking so much alcohol that like the smart just doesn't matter anymore, because then you're all just drunk and yelling at each other. So yeah, going in when you're sober it does, but then it all goes away.
No, but Jackie, I mean, you can tell in the interviews and everything, you're the smartest housewife.
Well, you said it, not me.
No, honestly, and you're also probably the most visibly Jewish one.
That I will say I am.
Yeah.
And proudly so.
Yeah.
Is that tough? Was that like a decision that you kind of like had to make early on?
To be very visibly Jewish? No, I was not a visibly Jewish. Like I have a Jewish last name, and I celebrated Rosh Hashanah on the show, and I bar mitzvahed my kids. But outside of those like moments in time, I didn't really connect to Judaism at all. And after October 7th, I think I woke up and I was like, where is everyone? Especially being on Bravo, I have stood up for every social justice cause that you can imagine, and proudly, and happy to do it. And I did not feel any of that returned to me, not just the Bravo community, but just in general. And I thought to myself, what kind of world am I sending my kids out into where they're not even safe in college, where we have to have the conversation about, are Jews safe here? And so every day I just was doing something, and it just kind of, people started thanking me, and I said, don't thank me, I'm just being Jewish. Like, I'm just proud to be Jewish. And the more I realized that people are looking for examples of people who are proud to be Jewish so they feel safe doing it too, it made me want to do it more and more and more. And then connecting to my Judaism, my mother's from Israel. I'm the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors. I started realizing all of this background that I didn't appreciate, and the fact that people had to fight like hell for me to be here right now. And I feel so strongly connected to my Judaism now, not just the rituals, not so much the rituals, but just being Jewish and being an example for people who feel like they've never done anything their whole lives Jewish. Is it too late for them? I want to be an example that it's not.
And
Please, go.
I just want to add, and I think it's so beautiful that it's not only Jews that are inspired by you. You shared when we filmed your episode for And They're Jewish, you shared with me that you put up an event and one of your housewife colleagues came.
Yes, I did an event for a Holocaust organization, and Matisyahu performed, and Teresa Giudice came with me, and she loved it. She was dancing to Matisyahu. She had no idea who he was before, and she had a great time. Yeah, no, she had no idea who he was. Yeah.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she loved it.
That's so funny. It's interesting. In the answer you just gave, that concept of after October 7th, looking around, just being I've marched with BLM, okay? I've done, that stuff, before. Obviously, I started to take myself away when a lot of the social causes that I was, part of, when I saw it getting toxic and when I saw kind of what they were associating with, but I still was there, I still supported, everything with George Floyd, I was still there. And then October 7th happens, and you look around and you're like, where the F is everybody?
Yeah.
That's wild that you were experiencing that at a place like Bravo, which is so Jew-coded.
Yeah, well, it's not the Bravo, the network itself, who didn't support me. I don't want to lose my job. But
call them out, name names.
They're awesome.
Love you, Andy.
It was more like nobody saying, hey, everyone put the blue square on your socials today. We didn't get that, whereas you got that for everything else, right? And there was no one really asking, hey, anything I can do to support you? It was silence. So that's what I mean more.
Have you experienced that also? What's funny is that I was introduced to you, after October 7th. Did you experiencing that also in your own community?
Yeah, I mean, not so much myself. I've already lost all the anti-Semites in the years before, just being very proud and outspoken Jewish. But my husband got a lot of it. He was, a gay man in London and very open about who he is and being in the fashion industry and being in queer spaces. And then after October 7th, he didn't post anything, and his friends just started disappearing, almost all of them. And the only ones that were left were Jews. But, it was a reminder for both of us that we don't need the people that weren't there for us. And it's good that we got rid of them now, because imagine finding out about it when you actually needed them. Well, we didn't.
We did.
Yeah.
And then we found out what we didn't need, to be honest.
Yeah, what we didn't need. And I think the other thing we found out is that we have each other. And that's really stronger than anything. And I would take a Jew that support one another than, anyway, our community is the best thing ever.
Yeah. Question for you.
Uh-oh.
Has being a loud Jew helped you on Real Housewives?
Well, my show hasn't been filming since, October 7th happened and we were still filming the final season, and it really wasn't brought up hardly at all. But just in the Bravo space, no, I've lost a fair amount of followers.
No, I'm talking about just the personality, the growing up Jewish and having that just in your life. Do you think that helped you?
Oh, I just think that makes me very uniquely me. I'm just a loud Jersey Jew, So, I think it probably made me stand out a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Audience questions. So if anything here is racist, I didn't say it. Hen, thank you for everything you've written the past 2 years. You have helped me so much. How will your platform look to evolve now that the hostages who are alive are back in Israel?
My hope is that I can focus on joy more, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be just that as we move ahead. I always try to balance between the trauma and the pain and joy and the positive as much as we can. I'm going to continue doing it. I'm not going to shy away from speaking about the hard issues because I think it's important, and I know that the media would not do a fair job in representing all of the facts as I see them, and that's what I've been trying to do. But I would definitely continue reminding the world of how much Jews have contributed, and continue reminding each other that our love is stronger than their hate.
That's great. Jackie, similar, you said that you had gained more of a connection to Judaism after October 7th. Things are winding down in some way out there. Internally, is that something that you're thinking about, where I had this connection that was started because of this tragedy, but how do I keep this connection going once the bad thing that started it is gone?
Yeah, I think that my connection to Judaism didn't have so much to do with the war. It had to do with the anti-Semitism that I felt here, and I don't think that that's going anywhere, so I have a lot of work to do.
Personally, I think anti-Semitism, done by March.
You're on the clock.
I got a plan.
You got the countdown.
I got a plan, don't worry. What's your favorite, non-sad part of Judaism?
No, I feel like it's very celebratory, and I have to say, for a very long time, if anyone here knows my story, I had a horrific eating disorder, and now that I eat everything, I'm really enjoying the foods. Yeah, it's great.
We have on this season Michael Solomonov, and speaking about Jewish food. Yeah, he's an amazing chef. So yeah.
I had a question about the anorexia thing.
Go for it.
You are openly an advocate, and you've talked about the anorexia on the show. I have an eating disorder that's diagnosed and all that stuff. This is a very hard thing, obviously. You're in a show that's all looks-based and is about this very specific thing. And, far be it from me to assume here, but I don't think healthy eating patterns are a part of the Real Housewife diet. So what is that like, talking about something like that on a show like that?
For me, it was very cathartic. It was very therapeutic. It helped me recover to be so open about it. So it wasn't just my family that I was talking to. It was the whole world. But the good thing about Real Housewives filming is that, I used to get food anxiety, and you get to the meal, and 2 minutes into the meal, there's a fight. So I never really had to worry about eating at the table. In fact, my husband always says, he's like, you guys always fight when you sit down to a meal. They should just give you power bars and let you go out. Yeah.
Yeah, they should. There should be a shot of Teresa Judas just slurping down some energy gel.
Right.
You gotta eat. You gotta.
Because then there won't be
or pre-eat those the tapings.
I mean, I don't. I always hope for the best, right? I hope I'm going to be able to eat my meal.
That's why I love this show so much. Keep hoping for the best, and it's never going to be good.
Today's going to be a good day.
Did you ever leave a shoot? You're like, no one fought.
No.
Jackie and Hen, if you could give your October 6th self any advice, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, don't feel too comfortable, and don't expect anything from anyone, and then you won't be disappointed.
I would tell myself that it's not going to end in a few months, because I was convinced. I kept hoping that it's going to end, and it just kept going. So I wish I had given myself more, that I was kinder to myself, because I was really hard on myself. Every moment that I was sleeping or resting, I felt really guilty, and I feel like it lasted. But also telling myself that even though it's not going to end very quickly, the journey itself is going to teach me a lot, which it has.
That is an interesting point where it had this COVID. Remember the beginning of COVID? Everyone's 2 months in and out, right? That's what it did feel like after October 7th, where, first month you're like, okay, they'll be back, in 3 months, and then 5 months, and then a year, and then we just kept on hitting marks. How did you stay sane, having to go, you're living this, there's the personal connection that's there, but also you're having to go talk about it on TV. Yeah. How do you not go crazy?
Yeah, you really feel like you go crazy, especially when you're debating, a British person that has nothing to do with this conflict that made it their entire identity. So I didn't get it. I still don't get it. And for me, it was exercising every morning, was a way, and also having the support of my husband, Mark, which has been there for me. Yeah, he really deserved it.
How'd you de-stress past 2 years? What's your de-stress secret? Is there a playlist?
I do love music, yeah. Playlist, running, my family, just really like, and writing. I'm writing my second book. I write freelance articles, so writing was really helpful.
Hey, just a question. Your sons are college.
So I have 2 sets of twins. No. My oldest sons are juniors in high school, and my second set of twins, boy, girl, they're freshmen in high school.
But they're starting to.
They're looking.
look
We're
into
going
college.
next week to our first college tour. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's that like? Weighing the joy of sending them off to college, but also,
Yeah.
everything's been heightened.
It's nerve-wracking having to look at schools and figure out if they're safe there. Because there are places that I don't feel safe sending them. So that's really unbelievable to me that in 2025 that has to be a consideration. But here we are.
You got to pick the most expensive schools and be like, they're the least safe.
Right.
Really,
Fend for yourself.
Yeah. Film degree at Columbia, it's like Kandahar. First off, Mazel Tov on your wedding, Hen. Give it up. I'm studying to become a rabbi, and I want to know how can I/other Jewish leaders bring your Zionistic message of Jewish love, community, open-mindedness to our communities during such a tense time? And more importantly, how do we reach non-Jewish peers and colleagues?
I find that this notion, sometimes we get into this, thinking that, if we just make our message more universal, if we just try and make anti-Semitism more understandable, if we compare it to other sorts of hatred, or if we tell our story in a way that they can hear it because it's very similar to them. I don't find that to be working. I find that the more we are specific about who we are and the type of hatred we're facing, the more people are interested in it and the more they are connected to it. So I would say, be more specific about Jewish identity, be more specific about this and lean into that. And find the place that, there's a lot of pain that I discuss on my platforms and in my writing, but there's a lot of joy and and I really want to emphasize it. It's when you lead with kindness, even when you report about pain, you can make a big impact, and I've seen it on my platform too. The best performing posts that would get millions of views are the ones of the hostages coming back home to their families. It's not the Hamas terrorists and the horrible stuff. It's the ones that we're seeing them coming home. And that's because this is who we are. We are about going home. We're about love and joy and family. This sort of values, I think, resonate more than just our community. My posts have reached over 120 million people in 1 month. In average, it was like tens of millions of views, and there aren't tens of millions of Jews, so I know it reaches far beyond our community. So keep doing it and keep being proud, and the more proud you are, the people would react to it in the same way and would, it would draw people to you.
What about you? How have you gone about trying to give this message out to your non-Jewish friends and people in your community? Has it worked?
So where I'm from, my town is very Jewish, so I've been sort of insulated. Basically what Hen said, I try not to call everything anti-Semitic, and if somebody says something to me, I will try to educate them on why that might be a harmful message for Jews. Some people don't want to hear it, and the people who do, I really appreciate, and I do what I can. Yeah.
Hen, how can we change the rhetoric around the word Zionist, especially when progressive spaces are really trying to change the meaning of that word?
We just have to explain it for ourselves. We can't let them explain it for us. And that's something I keep doing, and we should just keep doing it and keep using this word. I was in this conference of pro-Israel organizations, and there was this top pollster for the Republican Party that worked with other campaigns, and he said, the word Zionist doesn't work. The word Zionism doesn't work. Just stop using it. I said, yeah, of course it doesn't work, but also the word Jewish doesn't work, right? And we just keep on using it, and we just keep on using it in a positive way and associate it with positive things and reclaiming what it means. A lot of people want to attach different definitions to the word Zionism. Zionism is just the belief that Jews have the right for this one small piece of land that is 0.03% of the entire space of the Middle East, and we should be able to live there. It doesn't say anything about any other people. In fact, it says that we should reach out to the other communities in this region and live in peace. And we keep trying to do that. And that's what Zionism is. It's not about anything else. And if people have a problem with Jews living freely in our ancestral homeland, well, too bad.
Do you think that the Jewish community is a little bit to blame for smushing or smudging the definition of Zionist? Because I feel like sometimes obviously I'm a Zionist. I feel like there are people hard right that define it as like pro-war, we must do everything, we can only exist in this land, there can be no unity, it's just us there. And they've labeled that as Zionist. And that definition, unfortunately, has been used as a definition that the ultra-left-wing progressive spaces has globbed onto because these two sides love each other.
Really feed off of each other, right?
Hey, listen, Bibi and the Ayatollah, the sexual energy between those two, they cut it with a butter knife. And they did above Tel Aviv for about 12 days.
How do I get this image out of my head now? I think that most people in the middle.
I can't stop thinking about it.
I know, I can't. It's going to be a hard night. Where majority of people are sane, decent, good human beings, and we are the majority, and we just need to make sure that we're not letting other people speak for us, and just keep on, saying that this is what we are, and that's, as a gay person, as a queer person, this term also has been used, and if I'm part of this community, I should be probably standing up for a lot of other political issues that I don't necessarily subscribe to, and I just had to say, okay, but this is who I am. I am who I am, and majority of my community are probably like that. So it's the same with Zionism. I think Zionism can be defined in many ways, and people can add more, but there's one definition, and that's the original definition. That's what it means. You can't just, it's like people saying, well, from the river to the sea doesn't mean that we don't want Israel to exist. Well, that's what it means. Like, we say something else if you don't want to say it. And the same with Zionism. So, we know what it means, and it means what it means. So, I said what I said.
How dare ICC get in here? No. This is for all three of us. Where are you finding joy and levity during such dark times?
Television, movies.
What are you watching?
I love Severance. I don't find joy, but it's really good,
I find tons of joy imagining a day where I could just shut my brain off and then wake up and it's 7 o'clock.
It is tempting, but I also I have a very love-hate relationship with Nobody Wants This. I have strong feelings about the way they make Jewish women look, although I don't think they make any of the women look very good on the whole show. So it's kind of even. But TV, reading, being with my family, my friends, alcohol, all the good stuff.
Booze and Netflix.
Yes, basically.
What about you?
Me, Division IV roller hockey on the Upper East Side. That's right. You're looking at the starting goalie for the Hudson Hitmen. The way that I have been able to stay sane over the past couple of years, I'm going to say something that maybe doesn't sound great, but I was Jewish online before October 7th. It just was what it is. I've had a weird, run through the community. I was out of the community for a little bit. I grew up Orthodox Jewish, modern Orthodox. I joke that if there was a documentary about the level of Judaism, it would be a financial crimes documentary, not anything sad. And I was in the community, and then I've had my issues with the community. I stepped out of the community because I did not like the Islamophobia and the homophobia and the racism, and I went to Yeshiva University, and that was not great. And I left when I was 25, but I kept finding organic ways that I was doing stuff. I would put tefillin on in my room, and I wouldn't tell anyone. I just would remove myself from the community. Years later, I started to trend online as a Jew. like the Jewish or anti-Semitic stuff and just like being openly Jewish weirdly pushed me back into the community in a way that I was now deciding how I wanted to go about it. People were viewing more extreme versions of Judaism, then viewing my like low stakes version of Judaism. I was like, you know what, I don't want to get yelled at for turning a light on Friday, but Eitan, kind of like figured out the kind that I like. So I was, so I built a little bit of community. And then October 7th happened, and all of a sudden there was more meaning behind it, where people were viewing the stuff that I was putting online, which was very moderate. Like I obviously love Israel and hate Hamas and everything, but also what happened in Gaza was terrible. And I thought that what Bibi was doing was hurting Jews, to a certain extent. And I was very like I never wavered. I kept that the same. But the only thing that I was not doing that was giving me joy was the Jewish stuff, ironically. It was celebrating Hanukkah. It was doing the Sukkot. It was all of the stuff that you talk about in your show is about finding the genuine Jewish joy. That was how I stayed sane in those moments. It was knowing that as much as things were terrible overseas and as much as I didn't trust Bibi not to bomb another country and I didn't trust Hamas not to shoot more rockets, I didn't trust my community over here not to call me a genocidal Zionist because I care about my sisters in Israel. I had to do the stuff that wasn't that, and that was, latkes and matzo ball soup, and I do stuff with Manischewitz. It was embracing the Jewish stuff. It was actually really funny. One time I had a bunch of friends, they were very heated about Israel, and they were talking about the West Bank, and one of them yelled at me, "All the Jews should go out of the West Bank." And I looked at him and I said, "You tell my sister Tamar that." That's what it is to me. Like, it is a real thing out there where there's a natural connection there. And it was remembering the natural connections, and it was embracing that actual joy stuff that kept me sane throughout, the past couple of years. And weed.
And alcohol.
The legalization of gummies.
Yes.
I got last question. All right. Hen, has your sense of identity and or perspective changed at all now that you live in the diaspora?
Yeah, oh my God, absolutely. I've learned so much. I mean, I grew up in Israel. I was surrounded by Jewish identity. My dad is religious, and I grew up in a religious household. And in Israel, you don't have to chase the holidays. You don't have to work hard to be Jewish because it's a Jewish state. It's the only Jewish state in the world. It feels like there are hundreds of Jewish states by the media.
New Jersey is actually.
We're a Jersey.
The second Jewish state.
Do you know if you commit a murder and you're Jewish and you run into Zaybars, you have diplomatic immunity. Not arrest you.
Yeah, and then just living, the funny thing is that my first experience outside Israel was coming here to New York. I was a camp counselor in the 92nd Street Y, so it's a full closure now. I was their Israeli camp counselor that was singing Atikva to the kids, and and that was fun. And but then I remember being really surprised by how there's not much. I mean, the day-to-day life is not Jewish as it is in Israel. So that really changed my perspective and made me understand that I have to work hard to keep my Jewish identity. It's part of my day-to-day life now, and it's part of my work. But it's something that I'm really proud of. And yeah, many things. I'm an Israeli, I'm Mizrahi, I'm Iraqi, Tunisian, I'm gay, I'm liberal, I'm Zionist, I'm all of this.
I'm a sinner.
But the number one thing for me is really my...
Are you thinking about Bibi and that?
Yes, my number one thing is my biggest part of my identity is the Jewish identity, and that's it makes me who I am, and it's such an important part of who I am, and it's something that I would fight for, and I would it's worth all the fight, it's worth all the pain, and it's worth it because my grandparents could never imagine that I would be here today, that any of us would be here today. Yeah. So it's worth fighting for. Mm-hmm.
Jackie, how's the diaspora in New Jersey going?
I mean, it feels the same for me because I do live in, such an insular community. But I know that my kids leaving for college, they're going to be out in the world with a lot of non-Jews, right? Because we are a very small community. And I know that somewhere along the line, they are going to get some hate. And I want them to understand how to be proud of who they are, no matter what is thrown at them. And so that's sort of the reason for everything. Beyond like the social or like the followers, it's so my kids, when they ultimately get it, they understand what to do with it.
Jewish mothers, right?
Terrifying.
No,
Can I tell you?
amazing.
This is about a week ago, my mom called me up, unprompted, and just, without saying hello, she just goes, if Hamas ever takes me, don't exchange me for anybody. And then she goes, you don't call me when I'm here, you don't visit me when I'm here, leave me there.
I've already tried to set him up with a nice Jewish girl.
Oh my God.
Of course you did.
My mom thinks that Hamas's next target is Springfield, New Jersey. Hen, give the pitch to the audience. And They're Jewish season 2 is out now.
It's out now on YouTube. You need to hit subscribe to be reminded to watch it. We have amazing season ahead. Every week there will be an episode. I want to thank Maya Shulafan from Tel Aviv Institute, our producer, who put this together, our friends at Smith House, Hillary and Brian, and the entire team that helped us. And I want to thank you for agreeing to do this. And I want to thank Jackie because our episode is so good. We even had a tagline for my housewife moment.
Ooh.
And it goes, I may be lighting the Shabbat candles, but I would burn you in a debate. Right? and Jackie taught me how to do the twirl.
I taught him how to do the housewife swirls.
Wait, you gotta do it. You have to do it.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Why did I say it?
We'll do it together? Let's do it together.
Okay. All right, so it was like, we start here, right?
Do you want a voiceover or you want to say it?
No, I think we shouldn't say it at all. We should just spin
Okay,
it.
ready?
1, 2, 3.
Shoulders.
Shoulders.
So good, so good.
That's never happening again.
I think we're good. Anything else you want to say to the audience before we wrap up?
I think that, just to finish this up, to really thank you for being here. This show and everything I do is for all of you. It's a conversation that I'm having with us. I want to tell you that I love each and every one of you. I love our community. It's been really hard 2 years, but it's going to get better. And, being Jewish and alive is a miracle. It's magic. We shouldn't be here by any rate, and we are. And that's... And it's been hell for a lot of us the last 2 years, but it's I said it over and over again. I'll say it again. We are like Phoenix. We are coming up from the ashes, and we are stronger than ever. And Am Yisrael Chai.
Yisrael Chai.